Have you ever wondered how a tranquil town like Joliet, Illinois could suddenly make national news? Recently, Joliet was catapulted into the limelight due to a tragic incident. A horrific event unfolded. 7 people shot dead in 2 homes. The alleged perpetrator, Romeo Nance, was later found dead in another state. The victims related to Nance were caught in a dreadful act of violence. This shocking event has left the peaceful community reeling. The local populace is struggling to come to terms with this heartbreaking occurrence. This horrifying act of violence has left Joliet, a town known for its tranquility, in a state of shock and mourning. While the investigation is ongoing, the motive behind these horrific crimes is yet to be established. But one thing is clear: the incident has profoundly impacted the tranquil town of Joliet. This shocking has shaken its very foundations, casting a dark shadow on the once peaceful area. Citizens are living in fear, their lives irrevocably changed. The terrifying revelation is that suspect Nance has been linked to 2 more incidents from earlier that Sunday. This information has not just shocked the town, but it's also forced them to face a frightening reality. The chilling fact is that Nance was also suspected in 2 shootings that occurred earlier that same Sunday, demonstrating a terrifying escalation of violence. These tragic incidents are not isolated. Across the nation, we're witnessing an alarming rise in violent crime. Let's consider a recent example. During the Halloween weekend, a wave of shootings spread across the country, resulting in a horrifying tally of casualties. Numerous people fell victim to these senseless acts, with the casualty count revealing several fatalities and a multitude of injuries. The suburban area of Chicago wasn't spared. Halloween party turned into a terrifying spectacle of violence, causing the death of 2 attendees and inflicting injuries upon more than a dozen. Such instances of violence are becoming worryingly frequent, seemingly tearing apart the peace and quiet of our urban and suburban areas. It seems the tranquility of our towns and cities is being shattered by such shocking acts of violence. In a separate but equally alarming incident, Kwame Raoul, the Attorney General of Illinois State, initiated an inquiry into potential civil rights breaches by the Joliet Police Department. This investigation was triggered by a video that surfaced last year, demonstrating a man in the throes of a fatal drug overdose being treated harshly by law enforcement officers. Though seemingly unrelated to the recent shootings, the situation has escalated as a result. The video stirred up public outrage and highlighted an urgent need for police reform and improved accountability. This has further exacerbated the already tense situation in Joliet. All these threads intertwine, adding yet another layer of intricacy to the current predicament in Joliet. So what can we take away from these recent events? It's important to remember that the calm exterior of towns such as Joliet, places where people hope to find tranquility, can unexpectedly be torn apart by instances of violent behavior. This not only disrupts the serenity and safety of the area, but also sends shockwaves throughout the community. Next, we must acknowledge the alarming rise in violent crime across the country. It is not confined to specific regions or cities, but rather it's a pressing national concern. It's an issue that calls for immediate notice and thorough, coordinated strategies to combat it. And on a final note, while we depend on our police forces to safeguard our communities and uphold peace, it is equally crucial to ensure they respect the civil liberties of every individual. And finally, while we rely on our police departments to maintain law and order, we must also ensure they uphold the civil rights of all citizens. In conclusion, the recent events in Joliet, Illinois, serve as a jolting reminder to us all. The horrific incident that unfolded, resulting in the tragic demise of 7 innocent individuals due to a senseless act of violence, has left the community and the nation in shock. This heart-wrenching episode is mirrored by the ongoing investigation into potential civil rights violations by law enforcement agencies, raising legitimate concerns about the very institutions supposed to protect us. These are not isolated problems, but pressing challenges that our society needs to confront head-on. These events underscore the need for immediate action and reform. Let's envision them as a catalyst for change, a wake-up call leading us towards solutions that ensure the safety and rights of all citizens.